You're too long.
Too much white stuff, too much cuticle.
Yeah, I mean, I try to minimize the white stuff in my life.
This does feel like a real she's all that scenario there, Gojo. Beyond Domonique's commentary on America's racial reckoning and his cuticles. It does feel like Domonique for the first time has learned that he has beautiful hands, and he just took off his glasses, and America is now contemplating the vision.
I don't think they're that special, but I mean, I appreciate the compliment, guys. This is going to be a loving episode.
I wish people could see the picture that we saw of your hands. They'd understand. Like, Domonique sent us a picture of his hands, and for the next 10 minutes, alone in my house, I sat here looking at mine going, why doesn't my thumb look like Dominique's thumb? What's wrong with me now?
I mean, well, you can start with the fact that I'm black, so your thumb is going to be a little different. You got monotone. I can flip-flop it. Flip-flop it.
Wow.
You got monotone. You can't pull that.
Wow. You got, wait. Domonique has that reversible jacket dynamic with his hands.
Yeah.
I did not really contemplate that.
That's not racist at all.
Yeah, I'm glad Pablo said that, not me.
I just have like two shades of khaki.
Yes,
which
play
is
the
really
music.
less useful.
Play the music. Get us out of here before Pablo gets canceled. Isn't Pablo the one who's always asking if someone else deserves to be canceled, but he always says the things that are most cancelable?
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah, thank you. There we go, Alabaster. I apologize for ignoring your hands in all of this. We saw your actual hand. It's even creepier when we do see your actual hand inside the tiny little hand.
I have a shirt that says love can't be canceled. My wife bought it for me. I didn't know that she thought I was trying to cancel love, but it can't be canceled. Today, I think I have a Freddy Krueger shirt. Halloween spirit, guys.
I was going to say, shout out to Ashley for dressing you festively.
I dress myself, damn it. I'm not like your little baby. I dress myself.
You're not our little baby. You're her little baby.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real about whose little baby Domonique is. That is, by the way, Domonique Foxworth. That is Mike Golic Jr. He's Mike Golic Sr.'s baby. I'm Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre's baby as well. This is Debatable. It's a show where we don't debate anything. I'm the third, actually.
Oh, wow.
I am yes, that's right. I'm a Trey. Can I go by Trey now?
Yeah, why
I just
not?
realized this.
Yeah.
All right, let's workshop this during the show. Let's workshop this.
I think that Golic needs to go by MGJ. Like, I think he should go by MGJ.
Yep.
So he can
Fully
be
agree.
like the better version of Machine Gun Kelly. It's just like Mike Golic Jr. It's so much better.
I still think because of my size, it could be Machine Gun Jelly.
But the problem with that is
could work for
you have like the mindset of a fat. You're not a fat. Like, I mean, you're thick. You're like, I mean, I might give you husky, solid, but I would never look at you and be like, hey, that dude's fat. I mean, maybe at one point when you were playing, but you're not fat.
No, you're big and tall.
I could definitely still shop at like DXL, but I'm not going to major in it by any stretch of the imagination.
Nice. That's yeah. I used to get away with buying stuff off the rack, which is rare for a football player because all of our bodies, even though not everybody's huge, everyone's body is weird. And I could shop off the rack, and guys be jealous. Where you get that suit from? Just went to the store, got it. I'm not customing nothing. I had no money like that, at least back then.
Took it right off the mannequin.
No alterations needed. I think I was still putting cuffs at the bottom. Maybe that was it. Just cuff up the bottom for me. You needed 20 seconds.
See, I have weird high shoulders, guys.
Oh, that's what that was
This is my yeah.
Also,
20 seconds to call attention to my weird high shoulders.
They're narrow and tall.
They're narrow
nice.
and it's just like it's not good. Anyway,
what shoulder pads from the 80s. Yes, trending topics.
You guys ready for the first trending topic?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Okay, our first question. Is it possible that the Chiefs just aren't good?
So, I have takes about this. I will defer to people who know football before I
want you to
begin
go first.
to unleash.
I want you to go first. I want to hear your takes so that we can tell you you're wrong, because I'm disagreeing no matter what you say.
I know you do. But here's what I've learned about watching the Chiefs, and it is informed by the statistics that I have been looking at that confirm the eye test that the Chiefs have been failing, which is that the Chiefs keep losing to teams that are good, right? They give up like 30 plus to the good teams. They've lost to the 4 teams in the AFC that are actually in playoff contention. And beyond that, I understand that Patrick Mahomes is not responsible for all the interceptions that he's throwing, because an interception, of course, it's a statistic that is contingent on various variables. But when the defense is that bad and he is forcing stuff, yes, he ends up throwing an interception in 6 straight games, the longest streak of his career. And so what is Patrick Mahomes, guys? Say it with me. He is a bad magician. He's the guy who's not going to get you out of the hole.
We're not doing this.
He's just going to struggle. He's going to flail.
This is my Patrick Mahomes analogy that I used last time they were in the Super Bowl and they lost. Is prior to the game, I knew that their offensive line was bad, and I still thought Patrick was going to win. And the analogy there, to me, is like Patrick Mahomes is a drug. And I was high on Patrick because all the things that I knew about football, like if you can't block, you can't win, I knew that. In every other Super Bowl before then, I would look at offensive line play versus defensive line, and I would tend to go with the team with the better defensive line, which is why I was right when the Eagles happened to get that Nick Foles Super Bowl. But this game, Patrick Mahomes, he had me high enough to believe that nothing else matters, and I refuse to allow that to happen again this season. What? I refuse to allow that to happen again this season. But the problem is, picking against the Chiefs is they've lost a lot of games this year, more than they normally do. They've turned the ball over a lot. They're still incredible at offense. I mean, aside from this game, they were one of the most, if not the most productive offense in the league. And a change here or there, maybe they're bringing more Juan Thornhill on defense. You just need to be mediocre on defense. So the idea that at some point they can get to mediocre on defense and their offense can keep performing like this and their turnover luck will regress back to something more normal, like that's encouraging. But you have too many losses at this point, I think, for us to consider them like the cream of the crop. Like it's the Bills in a tier of their own and then everybody else.
Wait, hold on. But Domonique, the question is, are they bad? So what is the adjective you use to describe the Chiefs?
I mean, I ignored the question. No, they're not bad. They're fine. they're fine, right?
They're fine.
MGJ?
Yeah. They're average and inconsistent right now, right? And like you can, I think, account for a lot just by being a little cleaner. Like the Chiefs offense is 4th in accepted penalties this season. Like you cannot be adjusting to what defenses are throwing at you and constantly making these kind of mistakes when the margin of error is so thin, because it all starts defensively. Like it kind of like me as a player makes up for being undersized by also being slow in a lot of key spots. And so when you've got that on one side and then you've got an offense, like we saw the stat that Alabaster just put up about what their offensive line's been giving up. Like we grossly underrated when we talked about them getting a new line in here, going and bringing Orlando Brown over this offseason, Lucas Niang, Joe Thuney, like the other side of that offensive line, the part with Trey Smith and Niang and Buddy at center from Oklahoma, like those were guys that have never played NFL football before this season, or in Lucas Niang's case, at least meaningful snaps. You had Mitchell Schwartz, who could have been one of the top 5 tackles, right or left, in the league. And then you had Eric Fisher, who's still now playing decent ball when he's not hurt with the Indianapolis Colts. So you gave up one of the better tackle tandems in the league and have had to break this in a way that so far has not worked out well, especially now when you've got to overcompensate for the fact the defense is just playing over the top and daring you to throw it underneath.
I never tweet out the show link. I need to do that sometimes every now and then. But,
is Alabaster asking us to do that or the viewers
you
right
guys,
now to do that?
You guys right now. Stop analyzing and retweet the show.
Right,
is nobody watching it? I mean, who cares?
No,
hold on. I do it for you, Alabaster.
Let's take a very transparent break and actually thirstily. Should we agree on the same language?
I just retweeted the debatable one, and that's all I did. I got to do some language. I just retweet yours with the language when you put up there. You do this, I'll talk about football. What about Patrick Mahomes taking an entire person to his face? That was depressing and sad and scary. His neck snapped backwards. It's like, at some point, Patrick, too many people care about you. Too many of us love you and appreciate you. Yeah, that's what his head did. God. I didn't like it. I didn't like
Alabaster.
It. Don't get us canceled, Alabaster. That is like, I don't know. There's some religions that you cannot take on the deity in that way. And I think that the religion of the NFL, yes, do not disrespect our Jesus in such a way.
So this is what happens, right? So they go down 27-0 at halftime. And then in the fourth quarter, right, is when this happens. There is a play in which he gets rocked. His head gets snapped back. He goes into the tent. And apparently, what's the latest on this? Have you guys familiarize yourself? Like, he is cleared, but also like you saw the video, so what does that even mean?
Yeah, so
like,
Daniel Jones was the last case that we had of like, okay, yeah, he passed the protocol, but we saw what happened to him, and it was ugly. And Daniel Jones played the next week, and they got run out of the stadium the following week. So I suspect Patrick's going to do the same, but the slow get up and like all the people around him and them zooming in on his eyes when he was out, like that is all so uncomfortable. It's one of those things that ask us, should we be playing football? It's one of those moments like when they put guys on stretchers where we're like, should we be doing this? And then they do the next snap and we're like, yeah, we love
Correct.
this guy.
No, should we be jeopardizing the beautiful deity we were just worshiping by actually having him do the thing that made him a deity?
By the way, speaking of the worship, you saw how much everyone there still knows that that's the meal ticket, because there were about 11 guys that came over to get Pat up off the field, making sure he didn't have to put any weight down on any body part. I was like, damn, that is $500 million worth of love and care.
Chris Jones came out on the field. Like, you're not on defense or special. I mean, you're not on offense or special teams. He was strategically placed to protect his face from the camera. He was out there like,
no, they were building a human pyramid around the body of their pharaoh. It was ancient Egypt vibes, and I understood why. I really did.
All right, Ali.
What we got? What we got?
Domonique, actual football question. How do you explain Mahomes' regression this year? Is it just bad luck, or is he incrementally worse? Is the team just incrementally worse around him?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just bad luck because the offense hasn't been bad. The turnovers happen. There's a lot of tip balls and fumbles and those sorts of things that you can't predict. But I would guess that Patrick Mahomes, having not done any hard film analysis because he's Patrick Mahomes and I know he's good, I mean, I think it's probably just regression. It's not that the whole offense is bad. They've been losing a lot, and he's still been putting up big numbers.
But isn't the other dynamic, Gojo, also that like the numbers of his interception rate in the 2 years previous was kind of abnormally lucky? Like, I think there's a vision of Patrick Mahomes
that's what's made him special, though. It's that his turnover is combined with his big plays. Like, normally, if you're someone who puts up that many big plays, as he was doing in the past, you're also someone, or that many air yards, you're also someone who turns it over frequently. But the problem was he had broken the matrix, and now he's re-entered it for a moment. He'll leave it again. Don't worry.
But here's the thing. He was dodging bullets, and then it turns out that, like a terrible magician, he has just taken all of them. He's taken all. I mean, when Derrick Henry is throwing for more touchdowns yesterday than Patrick Mahomes, who threw for 0 touchdowns for the first time, no touchdowns for the first time in his regular season life, it does feel like that is regression, but also like the pendulum swinging back from a place it could not be, for too long, which was how incredible.
Do they make the playoffs? I was talking to Gojo.
It's crazy that we all didn't say no. It's crazy that we all didn't say no. We're all still thinking it, man.
Gojo, what do you think? There's the upcoming schedule.
Yeah, if you put a gun to my head right now, I would probably still, because I am, again, like that part of Patrick that like lives in my brain would make me say yes. I really don't think so this year, though. Like, if you're asking me right now, it just seems too broken in any of the areas. Dominic, you talked about the Super Bowl was the benefit of the doubt. And I think it was a couple of weeks when I finally had to look up. I think it was when they were playing Buffalo, and I'm like, all right, can't keep giving this team the benefit of the doubt right now, because as great as Patrick Mahomes is, the rest of this outfit is broken in ways that they haven't figured out how to adjust. And Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are good coaches on offense. Like, I have a belief that they're going to figure out, all right, teams are going to play us strictly too high. We're going to have to find more creative ways to get there underneath. Like, that stuff's going to work itself out. But on the O-line and the D-line, I still don't know how they're going to get better enough to climb out of the hole that they're in right now.
I mean, that team they played against was not good either. It's like refresher. Oh, just you got to refresh. You're delayed or something, Golic. But I think that's the most concerning part, is the team that they played against wasn't even a good team. Like, they weren't good on defense before they got hit with the injury bug. They're not good on defense. They're not a great 4-man rush defense. And somehow they got a ton of pressure on Patrick Mahomes with just a 4-man rush and not blitzing. So that's the most concerning part, because generally I can say this was one game, we'll throw it away. But it was one really ugly, uncharacteristically bad game for this team, and it's not all because of tip ball turnovers.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, the Chiefs are leading the league in turnovers right now, and Andy Reid team shouldn't be doing that, according to the legend, of course, of Andy Reid. But the fact is, the Titans also, as Gojo re-enters the conversation here, the Titans are also maybe good. Like, they're just actually a good football team.
They lost to the
I mean,
Jets.
well, that's the counter argument, and I don't really know how to respond to that, honestly.
They lost to the Jets. I mean, I guess we could give them 1 week where it was like, all right, we'll excuse that the same way we're willing to for the Chiefs, but they did lose to the Jets before they beat the Bills and beat the Chiefs. So I don't know. Derrick Henry's special, but you lost to the Jets. Where were you that week?
Alabaster.
Before we move on, I want to read you a quote from Patrick Mahomes before the season that he said to Bleacher Report.
Oh, yeah, I remember
The
that.
only record I have my eyes set on breaking, which would be new this year, would be going 20-0.
So maybe he jinxed himself? Is that what we're going with? I like that explanation.
Yeah.
This is a jinx.
Yeah. No, he's pulling
The
up.
world's greatest cell phone. That's awesome.
No, this is all the prestige. He's gonna reveal that this was actually his twin brother that he had the whole time, who's bad at football. And at the end, when the playoffs are just within grasp, the real Patrick Mahomes will come out and reveal himself to be the magician he always was.
Stop with this magician foolishness. Is that
Stuck
an all
the
that
landing.
shirt? Is that an all that shirt? Is that what that is?
It is.
Oh, nice. I was a little too old for all
Wow.
that, but I still know what it was.
Oh no, Mary Beth Denberg, shout out to the god.
Keenan Thompson, that's all I know. Him and Kel, they were on all that. What's next,
were.
Alabaster? I think we've exhausted this topic.
Have we got
That's Dominique's way
that?
of pumping the brakes on that. Yeah.
Okay, our second trending topic. Is it time to start taking the Bengals seriously?
I think so. I mean, before this game, I was well aware that the Ravens aren't as good as we think they are. I think the Ravens won a lot of close games, and the Ravens were dealing with a lot of injuries, and what it boiled down to was Lamar being incredible. So I don't want to detract from this win because the Ravens did give the Chargers more than they could handle. So I think the Bengals deserve some credit, but I think the Ravens' record is better than the Ravens actually are. So it's a weird spot that I'm in. And I said this before the game. It's like, if they beat the Ravens, we're going to be like, oh, this is awesome. They beat the Ravens. But also, the Ravens have a ton of holes. And Jamar Chase was running through all of them in the secondary, including Marlon Humphrey, who is one of the solid portions of their defense.
Yeah, no, Gojo, on Friday, like Domonique said all this on the record. I said if the Bengals beat the Ravens, fill in the blank, I said I'd probably chalk it up to the randomness of football. But then you watch Joe Burrow, do the thing where he gets Jamar Chase more receiving yards through 7 games than anybody else in NFL history. And you're like, okay, this blowout kind of makes me seriously reconsider the flippancy with which I dismissed Cincinnati.
Yeah, I will say this. I think we have to be careful calling this a blowout because you would think it was that way the entire game, and it wasn't. Like, this came down to basically 3 plays in the second half. This was a close game for the vast majority of the game, and then you had 3 guys miss tackles against Jamar Chase on the big play that we talked about in all of this. You had a blown coverage on the Uzomah touchdown, and then you had John Harbaugh inexplicably, in my Dominique, maybe you're like you and the smart people can explain this to me. I am all for fourth down aggressiveness. Going for it on 4th and 9 with like 11 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter in the way that they did seemed like another one of those spots where now we open up the blowout faucet and things get weird in a way that I don't think is indicative of how close those teams actually are.
So 2 things that I need to bring attention to is Pablo and I both, when we go full screen, there's a hiccup. Like, we both went full screen, and, like, we're talking, and then we see that they switch it to full screen, and we both do, like, a little hiccup before we jump back into our take.
Exactly like that.
Yes, just like that. And Gojo doesn't get any full screen because he won't pay his internet bill. They won't put him on full screen because it's too choppy. I'm assuming that's why. Or maybe they just don't want to go full screen on Gojo.
They close the internet faucet in the Golic Jr. household.
I want you guys to play with full screen Gojo.
Please Venmo me. I'm so things poorly right now. My parents cut me off.
Yeah, the Bengals are good at football too. Yeah, I mean, the defense contained Lamar to the degree that you can contain Lamar. He was off target on some deep shots. Like, I rewatched that game this morning, and he had some shots that he could have hit, but he's very dependent on Hollywood, which is, I don't know. Hollywood is good, but he also is bad sometimes. So, like, that seems like an issue. Now that Bateman's healthy, I'd like to see them throw it his direction a little bit more. But I'm not worried about the Ravens because I think my expectations for their season dropped dramatically in the preseason when it seemed like all their players were also dramatically dropping. So right now they're playing above their head. If they can make the playoffs with this, that'll be an achievement. If they lose in the first round, people are going to say, like, Lamar can't play in the playoffs because
that's right. No, I was going to say the Ravens have the worst pass defense in the entire league, and guess who's going to be blamed for it? Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, we're headed in that course. We're not going to celebrate how somehow he built a running game around himself without any running backs, a passing game without his star tackle, and without very many receivers, and managed to outscore a number of offenses despite the fact that their defense is down a corner and their defense likes to blitz a lot. And so if they make the playoffs, it should be a celebration of Lamar Jackson, but that's not what's going to happen. What's up, Allie?
So we've barely talked about Jamar Chase, who is awesome. Will anyone say any hot takey thing, some proclamation, so we can make some news on this show? Jamar Chase is the next.
Oh yeah, well, hold on. No. I was looking at the stats, guys, preparing for this.
Nice.
Jamar Chase's first 7 games in the NFL are like 7 times better than Jerry Rice's first 7 games in the NFL. Jamar Chase better than Jerry Rice. Eat it.
I thought you were gonna say Randy Moss. So is Randy Moss better than Jerry Rice?
I have to do my own research on that.
I was just wondering.
Before I impugn a guy who I might run into at the seaport one day.
I was just wondering if Jamar Chase is the greatest of all time. That's what I was wondering because people tend to say
he is. He's the greatest of all time.
Jerry Rice is the GOAT, and you're saying Jamar Chase is better than Jerry Rice. So, yeah, that Penei Sewell thing, I'm looking back on that hot take, regretting that because I was one of the many.
Gojo, where are you on
I have no regrets on that, all right? None. T. Higgins has been very productive as well for them, all right? Tyler Boyd does a great job in that receiving room there. And you can't tell me that Joe Burrow couldn't still use a little extra added protection. The Ravens got home plenty in that game. And, by the way, in all this, Jamar Chase is the easy lock for Rookie of the Year. Rashawn Slater is still alive and breathing, all right? And just because he doesn't have your precious stats that you can throw in your face here for all you nerds that can only read numbers, I'm going to be over here with broke-ass internet rooting for the big guy to go win that award.
Man, we got a lot of Alabaster today. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I love it. I'm in. Alabaster heat checking.
I have a question for you, Gojo. How many touchdowns does Rashawn Slater have this year?
All of them.
Wow.
All of them. He was on the field for all of them. Oh, that wasn't for me?
Charlie, you know what they do, Alabaster, is on the bios for offensive linemen and the media guides, because there aren't cool stats for them, they put the stats for the entire offense. They say he was a part of an offense that paved the way for a 1,000-yard rusher or a 4,000-yard passer. They get credit for everything because they're selfless and they care about their teammates. How about that?
Hold on. They get credit for everything because they're selfless. I'm not sure that's how that sentence should end.
No, don't worry about the specifics of that, all right? You don't need to think too hard about that.
Has he given up any sacks? How many pressures has he given up? These are stats that people use and respect. I mean, the point is he's better than Jamar Chase, right? That's all you want to boil it down to is Rashawn Slater, no longer Penei Sewell, which somehow we changed the discussion. You'd rather have Slater than Chase. You're starting a team today. Everybody on your team is average. You can pick one position, have someone who is above average. You're taking the tackle. You're taking a receiver.
Taking the tackle every day, twice on Sunday. I don't even know why this is an issue. We're all smart, like-minded people here. I'm a little surprised you guys are struggling so much with this.
As someone who's going to claim that between us on this show, we have 8 years of Division I college football experience, I agree with Mike Golic Jr.'s analysis.
I can't read these tweets. They put them up my screen. I might need to get some new internet or something. But these things are too small, and I don't know if it's like undercutting something I'm saying. I don't know what it's doing.
This one's from
read it, Alabaster.
This one's from Amani Heron, who says, "I'm only watching because Fox put so much effort into tweeting out the link. So thanks,
There
Al."
you go. There you go.
Yeah, I really can't make that out.
No,
But,
Domonique,
yeah,
Domonique, we're absolutely at the point of taking out the cell phone flashlight to look at the menu as doing the show goes. It's like I'm just guessing. I'll have just hoping that it doesn't say market price next to it. I'm just making decisions.
So you're at a restaurant, you see market price. Do you ask, or you just order, or you just leave it alone altogether?
You can't ask, right? You can't. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. That's the rule.
Yeah. That's not the rule. That shouldn't be the rule. I think that is the rule, but that shouldn't be the rule. And like I feel like chain restaurants, if you're a chain restaurant, you better get that MK off the menu.
Wait a minute.
I've been to chain restaurants with an MK.
Wait, are there? Do they do
yes.
Really? What do they got? What is a Cheesecake Factory market price dish?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's like lobster or something, but I promise you, I've been to somewhere like Papados or something like that.
Oh, yeah, no lobster.
Some train restaurant, and they're like MK. Like what? MK? I can go down the street. Like there's another location 4 blocks away. What are you talking about? You don't get
it's
MK
like, wait.
me.
It's like I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and compare some market prices.
There is no market price for you. You are wholesale buying Fridays. You know what I mean? There's no market. What are you talking about? Market price.
You bought 5,000 mozzarella sticks for $3. Now you're charging me market prices as if you're importing caviar.
MK me? The whole point I'm coming here is that you got Costco prices. What are you doing? If I wanted to pay extra, I'd go somewhere where they were actually, I don't know, bringing in the food fresh. They got some guy who fishes for them in the mornings and drops it off.
That's right.
Tell me a story about
it. That's right. Oh, God.
What are we talking about? Something new? Are we done? I'm exhausted.
Last
Alabaster, Domonique needs to take a couple plays off.
I'm mad at market price.
Well, this is
just lost the TGI Friday sponsorship. Things are escalating very quickly.
This is going to be tough because Chosen McDonald on YouTube is coming right for you, Domonique. He said, did he just say that Jamar Chase is better than Jerry Rice? Jerry Rice is not only good because of stats, but he can catch perfect.
Did I say this?
Right.
I didn't say that.
Dominique's getting played.
No, Domonique said that. Yeah, no, absolutely. Domonique said that.
I would never. Although I did play against Jerry Rice.
Dominique said that about you.
I played against Jerry Rice in his 20th career, and that Jerry Rice. Not all that good, guys.
Wait. Braided Magic Mike era Jerry Rice isn't all that good? Is that what you're saying?
Wasn't all that good. I think Jamar Chase touch better than that Jerry Rice. I'm not willing to say that he's better than Rice in his prime, but he's
there we go. That's the take though. Jamar Chase better than year 20 Jerry Rice by a mile.
You got to do it like this. I played against Jerry Rice, and Jamar Chase is better than the Jerry Rice I played against. Yes, because that Jerry Rice was going to the club with us in tiny gold chains and a tight button down to his navel. It was immaculate. I loved him. He was a great dude. I have another question, a production question. Who is going through all of the social media? And thank you for doing that and culling through all of the insults and racism to find the three comments that are not offensive and that can be shared. I don't know who it is. Serafina, it might be you. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, and if you're out there once again, less racism, more smashing that heart button. Next topic.
Kevin says you're welcome. Our next one.
Kevin, shout out to you, Kevin.
Our next trending topic. So the Nets and Lakers are 1-2. It's a long season, but we want to overreact a little bit. Should either team be concerned with how they started their season?
So I went to the Nets game yesterday because I was preparing for this show.
That's why you went?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously not a lie. And what I learned was that the James Harden experience might be an issue. So the big picture thing about all of this, right, is of course we can't overreact. It's October. But the thing with James Harden, how they're calling fouls differently, where they've enacted basically the James Harden rules, where if you try to draw, that's honestly more agility than the James Harden I saw yesterday was able to display. No, he's everything about his game seems off. He doesn't seem like he's totally in shape just yet. And also these rules are preventing him from getting to the line. Back in the day, he would go to the line like double digits every game. And now it's 3-3-3, I believe, in the first 3 games of the season, which is, again, small sample size, but it tells me that the referees are actually doing this thing. And it's not going to be Steph who's going to be impacted most. It's going to be this guy because they seem to want to make a point. And if James Harden can't do that, they're not only down Kyrie Irving, they're down the version of James Harden that was an MVP. And so on that level, if you want to spin a headline out of that, I kind of believe that this will be tougher than you think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Alabaster, but yes, it's way too soon to have any of these conversations. This foul rule, maybe it's going to be a thing, but we did this at the beginning of the football season, talking about taunting. We did it at the beginning of the football season earlier about reviewing, or 2 seasons ago about reviewing pass interferences. Like, we do these. Remember they changed the ball in the NBA for a couple of weeks? They do weird stuff at the beginning of the season.
That weird ball.
By the end of the
right.
season, they changed it, or they regress back to what they normally do. But this question was about the Nets in the Lakers. And so we had a chance to talk about LeBron, and we didn't. Somehow you pivoted to Harden, which, I mean, if that is not a missed assignment for a sports media personality, I don't know. What is
undermining the traffic of this video is what I'm doing.
Is that Rich Paul or is that Nino Brown? I don't know who that is, but or is it?
We also
oh, it's Rich Paul. You put him close to LeBron. It makes him Rich Paul.
There you go. Fair. But Gojo, the other thing I just remembered is that, there was this sort of like actual physical confrontation that Anthony Davis had with Dwight Howard that happened on Friday that allegedly is all cleared up now. And that's another thing where, like, I cannot believe I didn't just wring more traffic out of that to start this topic.
Speaking of that, and speaking of spicy takes, did we quietly get one of the only spicy-looking Magic Johnson tweets ever coming off of that? Where he claimed to have never seen anything like that in all of his time around the Lakers? Like, that situation managed to coax it out of Magic, and we were going to blow right past it.
No, Gojo, the terror alert scale of NBA news, the most red should be Magic Johnson expressing an opinion. It should absolutely be that. Like, he actually said something. Our colleague, the guy I hopped on a couch like Tom Cruise to dap up when he came to the seaport, that Magic Johnson expressing a hot take of some sort is yes, that should be panic-inducing.
I do.
Magic will have you doing strange things for Dap, by the way, too. Like, that dude's got the it factor to where, like, you're immediately drawn into his aura, and then you got to make sure you nail that Dap right away, because the last person you want to screw that up with is Magic.
I had a leg. I like leg kicked. I had a leg kick somehow, like a pitching.
I remember
motion.
it was bad.
Like Elaine,
it wasn't great.
I don't watch a lot of Seinfeld, but I remember Elaine dancing. And she did like a thumb kick. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
That's actually disturbingly close to what happened. As again, I was on top of the couch.
Were you just
because
excited,
I wanted to nail this thing.
So you thought
I wanted to nail this thing. I was gonna dap at 100 miles an hour. I needed to wind up like Fernando Valenzuela.
How old is Magic? Like late 50s, 60s, something. Anyway, the point is, you thought that a 60-year-old black man
62
was doing leg kicks, daps. You were like, I'm gonna hit him with the racket, and he's gonna be impressed.
Oh no! I just needed to get my own personal velocity up to match his. I had no idea what he was going to do in response. I just needed to put the full force of my physical stature into this. And
Nope. Next question. I'm not standing for this. No, I'm not standing for this. Pablo makes the show.
I need to know this.
Pablo makes the show about him at every turn, and I will not allow you, Alabaster, to get drawn in and force to do this. Next topic.
The tabloids, how dare you bring this tabloid gossip into my safe space? I come here
fresh off of his Saturday Night Live hosting appearance. Wow.
But by the way, speaking of Saturday nights, Mike Golic Jr. making me a made man in South Bend, because I went from South Bend to Brooklyn to the Nets game. What a delight! What a delight to have the Golic imprimatur following me around. I felt like it was an amazing weekend, and shout out to South Bend, Indiana, man.
Okay, give us your weekend. So you went to South Bend, you got pissy for Heisman House, and then what?
Yep. I hung out with Joe Theismann. He told me stories about Burt Reynolds. What a dream.
Joe Theismann on the sideline with Susie is the only thing I remember. Anytime I hear the name Joe Theismann, I do not think about him guaranteeing. I do not think about his fur coat. I don't think about anything. I just think him slurring with Susie. That's it.
Gojo, you see what's happening right here.
It.
Gojo, you see what's happening?
No. It's not up to me.
Domonique
is
doing the thing where all white people are the same.
What do you mean?
Because, Domonique, I'm talking about Joe Theismann. You are referring to a different quarterback. No,
I thought you said Joe Theismann.
I am.
Oh, I'm thinking Joe Namath.
You're thinking of the other one.
Joe Theismann.
Joe
Congratulations. You're canceled,
Washington.
Dominique.
That got broken.
Wow.
He got broken. That's what I think of him. Oops.
That's right.
That's right. It's really
all those
scary.
sites look the same, Dominique.
let me say this. Let me clear my name. It's really scary to be on the wrong side of the LGBTQ plus community. It's awfully scary to be on the wrong side of the black community. Do not say anything offensive about women, but I will have you know, there is nothing scarier than being on the wrong side of cis white men. My God, I am terrified. Y'all got a track record? Man, do y'all got a track record, Gojo. And I don't want no parts of it. I apologize.
How did Domonique turn that instance into something that now makes me uncomfortable
That's
to
right.
speak?
Gojo.
I just want you to
That
know.
was racial
That's right.
jujitsu, the likes of which I have never seen.
Well, in order to make it to this age as a black man, you must use their force against you. You just gotta
That's right.
jujitsu it in any way you can.
It was Bas Rutten. Domonique Bas Rutten that, and we ended up canceling Gojo. That was incredible.
I was in deep. It was like 3 solid minutes where I thought we were talking about Joe Namath.
That was the 28-3 of comebacks for Domonique. I was in the most comfortable place possible, getting ready to talk with Pablo about getting drunk in South Bend, Indiana.
That's right.
My happy place. The most comfortable thing in my life. And now here we are where I'm going to beg Alabaster for the next trending topic.
Y'all got a track record.
Yeah.
You went to Saturday Night Live. You had a great weekend.
All right, guys, it's time to play a game.
Oh, this is amazing. I love this live television. That's not real television.
This game is what are the chances? We ask you a question, we'll show you a video, and then you tell us the chances. First one. What are the chances Caleb Williams made a smart play in crunch time against Kansas?
Hold on. Gojo, after we started this show by saying you're not fat, have you been eating throughout this whole show?
I was wondering if
Wait,
anyone was going to.
are you snacking?
This man is
Wait, I haven't
snacking.
noticed this at all. You snacking?
He can't go an hour? Like, what is this, 45 minutes? You can't go 45 minutes without putting some food in your face?
Listen, I opened the bag at the start of like when I got into the meeting, and it was just sitting there in front of me. And
They're
I can't
M&Ms.
stop.
They're not gonna go bad. They'll be there. I promise you, they'll be there.
They are going to be there, or they could
45
be in
minutes.
here right now.
Oh my
Jeez.
God,
Man,
that's
it's eating in the
incredible.
middle
I
of
didn't.
Allie's question. What's the question again? I don't know. I know it's 100%
just-
chance that I'm no longer gonna say Gojo's not fat. Like you're exhibiting the behaviors of a big dude.
That's right. No, that's right. I just love, by the way, when it went to technical difficulties for like 5 seconds, Gojo
Thank
was
you.
just like turning that bag upside down, just housing them.
Yes, I'm sticking with 100%. What do you
Lord.
got, Pablo?
All right, so I'm gonna go with 35%.
Oh, don't we gotta see
because
the play
that
first?
happens. Well, that happens to have been the final score, 35
okay.
to 23, which
Gotcha.
is why I picked 35 because
Ooh.
I think there is a particular importance, obviously, with this play that I think is justified. But Gojo, what do you got?
0.
Nice.
Wow.
Show the play.
All right, lines are drawn. What happened?
That's a 4th down and 1.
That's the quarterback
Yep.
forcibly removing the football from a running back.
Nice.
Give me that.
I mean, it's one of those high-risk plays. I mean, I guess he could have fumbled it, and then Kansas picks it up and goes the other way. But that pretty much put the game away, didn't it? So I'm sticking with my 100%.
I mean, spoken like a cornerback, spoken like a guy whose job is to take balls away from other people. But Gojo, have you seen this happen before? Like, I didn't even know that this was a thing that, like, realistically would ever occur in this way.
Well, I think it was. Isn't there a pretty famous instance at Miami of like Sean Taylor or Ed Reed doing an interception where they just took it from one guy to the other? But offensively and in this situation, hell no, I've never seen this. And the reason I'm saying made a smart play is because I don't believe Caleb Williams knew that in this instance on 4th down, it could be a legal handoff behind the line of scrimmage that wasn't somehow a penalty in this play versus if it had happened downfield. Like, Caleb made an outstanding instinct play right here. He knew it was 4th down, and he knew, hey, we had to get 1 yard come hell or high water. And so he grabbed that thing and went for it there. Am I going, because I saw people on, this is me reacting to the internet saying that, oh, wow, what a heads up play to understand that. Like, listen, I've been a college kid before. You don't know those. You have no idea. Saw the ball. He knew where it needed to go. And he said, I'm going to get it there. And that is good enough for me.
And he's a freshman, right? There's no way he knows the rules as a freshman.
That's a play that you only make when you know that they hate your backup. And there is really nothing that you could possibly do.
What a great point.
To get pulled. He's like, hey, whatever. House money, baby. What you gonna do? Pulling that guy that you pulled to put me in?
I have a question for you guys, because I saw a lot of people saying this too. Are you allowed to have that be your Heisman moment when it's against Kansas?
No, I think the answer is no. But I do have a question. Why is that not illegal downfield? Because
that's where I also have questions.
It's not. I understand because once you change possession, the ball is where it is. So then it becomes your possession. So it's not a forward pass. This is semantics, but I understand that it's only good because it's behind the line of scrimmage. But if you're passing the ball forward, you possess it all the way until you no longer possess it. If you don't throw it, if you hold it the whole time, then you have transferred possession in a spot that was lateral, right?
And that's
it's because it's fourth down. Yeah, it's because it's fourth down on this one, though. Like, the rules apply differently. Like, if it were a fumble on fourth down, which this is akin to, and you fumbled it forward, only the person who fumbled the ball could then rip it. It's like it's a weird thing just because
I know that rule, but I think that you should change that rule also, because I love the idea of guys getting stuffed and then just hurling it over their head, and then we just have a scrum. It's a scrum at the goal line. Let's have it.
Yes. All right, Alabaster. What is next?
Next, what are the chances? What are the chances the NCAA's overtime rules are better than they were before?
So I was at the Notre Dame tailgate for the entire day. I had terrible cell phone reception. So all I got were dribs and drabs of box score updates. And I legitimately thought that when I saw 18-18 stuck and we got to 9 overtimes, that my app was broken. So I'm going to go for that reason with better, because anything that makes me think that, absolutely 100% better. I'm in favor of the sport itself breaking my understanding of it.
No, don't give any background. No, you're not explaining anything to the people that are viewing.
Oh, yeah,
You didn't say the teams that were playing. You didn't say anything. Like, gee, so the people are just like, what? 18-18, what were you watching? Is it a field hockey
Illinois
match?
was playing Penn State in women's volleyball, and things were getting wild.
So what I'm gathering from this is that the internet is really bad at Notre Dame and with Notre Dame alum, because
that's correct.
I feel like you should be able to follow the score. Like, they know everyone's going to have their phone there. But anyway, the fact of the matter is it went into 9 overtimes. They changed the rule because they were supposed to force the overtimes to be over more quickly. And somehow this season we have like something that is approaching, if not hitting, the record for most overtimes in the game. And
definitely the record.
Somehow it's still kind of interesting and exciting. I do like college overtime. I have to be honest.
I love it. I'm 100% on this. We have a clip. Let's show it.
No, we don't have to show it. Come on.
Ooh,
we got side camera. No eating now, Gojo. No eating now. We got the side.
I was going to open up another pack.
No eating now also applies to the offensive philosophy of these teams for 8 overtimes.
Oh, my goodness.
This was peak Big Ten. This is the Big Tenest Big Ten that's ever Big Ten. They went for 9 overtimes and were still a full touchdown short of the over. A full touchdown.
When did Penn State change their end zones? Or was this just special for this game? Was this just like a throwback situation?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for the diamonds.
I have no idea.
My other favorite detail was that while this was happening, Wake Forest scored 70 on Army, I believe.
And it wasn't a blowout. They needed...
No, it was a 70-59.
Yeah, they needed almost all of that 70. Why are we watching this? This is putrid.
Because we want everyone to relive this 9 overtime hellscape that we all had to in real time on this. Domonique, I'm with you, though. I love college overtime. It's the closest thing in football we have to penalty kicks and shootouts in hockey and soccer. And I could not love it more. Like, this was done because they wanted, like, the player safety element of not having guys play so long into the game. And so now what I've realized we have is we're going to get a 15 overtime game that we can justify health and safety-wise, and it is going to be comedy in the box score, and I can't wait.
All right, Gojo, I've decided we're not giving you numbers. Bleep your stupid game. What's next, Alabaster?
All right, guys, you guys have filled it up, so we're just going to skip ahead to a last topic, a bonus topic, inspired by Gojo. Top 3 Halloween candies of all time. Gojo, you can go first on this one.
Yeah, Gojo. I mean, there's one question that needs to be asked at the top of this, and I'll ask it to you, Mike. Candy corn or not? Because, like, if candy corn is only a Halloween candy, but the question is, do you include it in this ranking? Do you like candy corn? Wow, that is impressive.
Big surprise.
I love it. I actually just finished my first bag of the season this morning while I was rewatching some of these NFL games. It is fantastic. Yeah, no, candy corn absolutely rocks. I would say because it's a very Halloween-specific candy, it probably cracks the top 3 here, along with the Reese's Holiday Shapes. It's got to be the shapes. It can't be the cups. They're definitely in there. And then probably sneaky one for me, not a lot of people are in on this one. The best candy bar in rotation right now is the Reese's Fast Break. I don't even know if it's all that close, quite honestly. It gives me some
explain what this
flavor
is.
and texture.
I don't know what this is.
I
have no idea.
Have you ever seen Friday After Next? Like, you are Baby D. Baby D know about all the snacks before they even come out. I've never heard of a
if you haven't, buddy, just head to like the local checkout counter near you. It is basically Reese's. It's the chocolate peanut butter inside, but then there's this thin layer of what I'm going to call nougat at the bottom there, and it's like it's like when you go bumper bowling, and it's got that it's got the little nudge back into the lane. The nougat's just a little nudge to the bottom at the end of the bike there, and I tell you, it makes the whole experience much better.
Man, I've never thought of you as a writer or poetic, but it brings it out of you. Like it's the nudge back. It just feels, the way you describe it makes me want it.
Domonique, you said before, I wasn't fat anymore. I hope today's lesson has shown you that fat is a state of being. Fat's about what's in here, not as much of what's like back here still in my love handle. There's a fair amount.
Back to the question. I have to be honest. When I get Halloween candy, I'm not hyped when they put candy corn in my bag. However, I do think that candy corn deserves to be in the top 3, just out of like eggnog is gross except for in December. Like, I think candy corn is the same thing. It's like the taste of it may not be good. It's like those little Huggy drinks. Them things is nasty. But somehow, if you've been running around all day in the summer, you poke a hole in that thing and sip it. It tastes like summer and childhood. So I feel the same way about candy corn, as it deserves to be on the list just because of the memories it conjures.
Wow, you're saying that to get into the holiday spirit, you need to eat the disgusting things that the holiday season is convincing you exemplify the holiday spirit. That's called being a pawn of capitalism, Domonique.
Gotcha.
That's what that is.
Right, my bad.
You ever go, by the way, speaking of pawns of capitalism, you ever go and like people like give out like change and stuff for like Halloween?
Change?
Like handing out like
The hell?
So I'm the pawn of capitalism. Let's be clear. I am a knight of capitalism, maybe a rook of capitalism. I'm closing in on queen of capitalism if ESPN act right and get these numbers right. But
move in all directions, guys. Diagonally, forward,
not.
backwards.
Quite literally, Alabaster.
I am not a pawn, my friend. I can't read that. I can't read that.
So shout out to Butters BC, who just tweeted Gojo with that gif of Russell Westbrook eating candy on the sideline, sneaking it out.
That was 100% me. Holy!
I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it.
You make it look cooler, Gojo. Amazing. You pull that off. So now this is the thing. You have to eat from here on out. Like, I feel like you gotta sneak snacks in from here on out every time you're on Debatable.
Do I have to sneak them in anymore? I thought I could just do this butt naked out in the open.
This feels like a sponsorship.
I thought it was.
Bro, I got the whole bowl right here.
My God.
We need to get, Reese's Fast Breaks? Please sponsor my man.
Yeah, Reese's, at Reese's, flood Reese's mentions, get Mike Golic Jr. some free Reese's Fast Breaks. Personally, by the way, just to get my own taste on the record, I'm a Raisinets guy.
Oh
boy.
We got vampire candy corn. That's a must, Pablo. Have you ever done that? You ever done the vampire teeth with the candy corn?
No.
What?
I don't. Candy corn. I also have never chewed gum in my life. Like there's some things that I just don't ever. Yeah, no, I have.
You waited for
lines that I
7
do not
seconds
cross.
left to tell us this?
You ever?
Yeah, I've never chewed it. It's gross.
Oh, just because you think it's like gross, like the consistency?
It's gross because you go underneath your desk and you'd run your hand and you'd be like, oh, what's this? And you'd look and you'd realize people are putting this in their mouths and like saying it's like a candy. No thanks. No.
So
I've
all you have
never-
to do,
never
all
chewed
you
gum.
have to do is not stick it on the desk. It's fine. You can throw it in the trash can like a
It's
civilized
like
human.
no, guess
Or you can
look,
swallow
if,
it like me.
If all your friends were just regurgitating pizza and leaving it around your classroom, you may have a different opinion on pizza. So
Why
it
would
is
your
with me and
friends be
gum.
puking pizza?
What happened to our countdown? Did their internet go, or they just wanted
Did it
to
go
talk
back
about? Yeah, it was at
What?
7. It went to 10, and now we're counting slow. Hey guys, we don't got that
Is
much
this a
to fill.
test?
I don't know. I feel like this
Am
is
I having a stroke right now?
this is a time for my question book. That's what it feels like. They need us to fill more air. Oh, you got a candle.
What is
What
happening?
is going on? Are you ET?
I don't know.
Are you celebrating the pagan ritual of Halloween? Are you
Yes.
okay?
It's
I don't
spooky season. Let's go.
No internet and no electricity. You just gotta light
This
it
is how I
up
have
with
to-
candles,
Oh
right.
no.
sending telegrams.
Oh no, the candle's out. And there.
Domonique, tweet out the link.
Oh yeah, I'll tweet out right now. Don't miss
Yeah,
it.
good,
We got
good.
more show for you guys coming up live.
I stepped on an M&M on the ground. Damn it.
Oh, that's still
Apologies.
edible. Are you eating?
Apologies to Joe Theismann for the record. You're
Yeah.
very nice.
My bad, Joe. You haven't done anything embarrassing that I know.